I'm going to talk about a self-improvement life hack that is basically non-existent in the self-improvement space, and I don't know why. Because it is such a cheat code to taking your progress to the next level, right? So I'm going to ask you a question that I need you to just spend like 3 seconds thinking about. Just the first answer that pops to your head. What is the number one thing you've been struggling with the most on your self-improvement journey? Right, for 95% of you, that is probably like some variation of procrastination, not being able to do the work, motivation, discipline. That's all lumped together into one thing, which is you're just not able to get yourself to do what you're supposed to be doing. Right. Now, in the self-improvement space, like you'll hear Hamza talking about it, or anyone else who answers this question, they'll be like, see yourself as someone that does that work, or someone that just is on self-improvement, that just doesn't do the bad habits. And it's good advice, like that is the advice, but I'm going to take that to like the next level in a way that makes it easier to implement, right? Because what that advice entails is that you see yourself as someone who does the hard work and all of that. And while that's good, it's still difficult to break that view of yourself, right? That you still know that it's you, and after a while, that just like the effect just fades away, because it's like I'm still me. Like you haven't completely like separated yourself as someone who does that. And the life hack I want to tell you is an alter ego, right? I'm sure you might have heard about it before, but I don't think you've thought about applying it in this manner, right? Think about times you've been unmotivated. You know, you've got no motivation at all, completely like demotivated. And sure, you've thought about like, the basic advice, which is like just do the work, especially when you don't feel like it, that sort of thing, or view yourself as someone who does it even when you don't feel like it. If you're someone who goes to the gym or whatever, you view yourself as like an athlete who has to go to the gym, eat clean, whatever, and it just doesn't motivate you the same way. But then, I don't know, think about someone who really motivates you, like just some famous person or whatever who just really, you think about them and they just really motivate you, right? For me, it's been like, I'll think of like Thomas Shelby, right? I'll like watch like a thing of like Thomas Shelby and it just motivates me. Or I'll watch like a video of like Cristiano Ronaldo or something, right? And it just motivates me. It has a different kind of motivation, because now instead of me viewing as myself as someone who doesn't do like the bad habits, I'm viewing someone else who's just done it and they've reaped the rewards, and they're kind of like the leader and I'm just following. I've got like a blueprint to follow. Like I'm gonna do everything like them. I'm gonna imagine I'm them, and it just makes it easier to do everything. It's just different. Like it's the same thing as viewing yourself as someone who's disciplined, who does the hard work, etc. But now it's different in that you're seeing someone else who you totally respect, who you just see and you just get motivated, right? It has a different effect because it's not you, right? You don't have to do the work of like separating yourself from who you are now to who you want to be. You've got like literally the blueprint there of someone who's done like what you want to do, or someone who just does it. They just derive like motivation out of you, right? And that's what like building an alter ego does. Like if you think about a lot of like famous people, a lot of athletes or whatever, if you go read like a lot of their autobiographies or whatever, they all have some kind of alter ego, because it gets difficult when you're trying to do like hard work. It really gets difficult, and you might have like your why lined out and everything, but it just gets difficult to just keep going, and you need like a certain level of just obsession to keep going, and building an alter ego like helps that, right? So I've beaten like the point to death now. Like building an alter ego definitely helps you with like motivation. So what I want to say is like, I was reading a book, which I recommend you to go read, by the way. What is it called? I think it's called The Alter Ego Effect or something like that. That's the one that I've sort of like had this pointed to me, because I've also like, when I was struggling with like motivation, I just like saw this book and it just popped up. Like I followed this guy who does like summaries of books. It's called The Productivity Games on YouTube. You should follow him, by the way. He just does like 10-minute videos of like a summary of a book, and he did it on like the alter ego effect. And it just like spoke to me. I was like, damn, yeah, like building an alter ego, if you can make that something permanent in your self-improvement journey, it will help you just do the work like when you don't feel like it. It helps you like just become that person. And this goes further than just getting yourself to do the work, even just being in like social spaces, right? How many times have you been like going out somewhere to like something difficult, and you like a difficult social setting, and then you just think about like you watch like a James Bond clip or something like that, or you watch like a clip of someone who just motivates you, and then you walk out and you've got like an extra sense of like confidence, because now you just imagine you're like James Bond and he's just like really confident. You like mimicking all of his mannerisms and everything, and it's like it's not you anymore, right? It's him, right? And he just does it. He's just able to do it. He's just got this charisma. He's got this finesse, right? And it's not you doing it anymore. So now all of a sudden it's like someone else is taking the driver's seat and they're just doing what you want them to do. And that's how like an alter ego can have like powerful effects. Now obviously what you want to do, the end goal with all of this is that within a couple of years you become that alter ego, right? And the number one like thing that you can do is like, you've heard like some people who say like, oh, who's your role model, and they're like, oh, it's me in 5 years. Who's your role model 5 years from now? It's me in 5 years, like that sort of thing. You want to do that, right? But it doesn't like arise the same motivation out of you. You want to pick someone that like you see right now and they just motivate you, and you take like what you want from that character and you embody that character. You can give them like a different name or whatever, and it just helps you. It just helps you like do the stuff you don't want to do. It helps you just become someone who's more confident, that sort of thing. Or even if you're playing sports, like sports is like the number one place you can use it. Like if you're playing soccer and you struggle with confidence or whatever, you go in the game and you just imagine you're like your favorite footballer or whatever, and it's just different, right? You just carry yourself differently. And I want you to like implement this in all parts of your life. Like if you're studying or whatever, just, I don't know, make up. Okay, there's not a lot of people who like study that you like look up to. You're like, oh, I'm like this person who's like studied, because it's not cool. It's quite boring. You can create a character. You can create like a fictional character, and you just like put like that characteristic on them, which is like they study hard or whatever, or they, I don't know, like just do something. Like for me, what I use when I'm trying to get myself to study, because this degree is hard and it's difficult to like motivate myself to study. I'll watch like some series, and I'll see like, like the olden day series where you have like emperors. Like I was watching a series called The Empress, but there was like an emperor, and I just imagine him like he's looking over his empire, right? He's got like a lot of like big decisions to make. He's always busy. He's kind of like a king or like a president or like that sort of thing. Like he's just got a lot going on, and he just has like a lot of things he needs to do. He has to do like a lot of like boring work or whatever to get like, just to achieve all of his goals and stuff. So I just imagine myself like I'm an emperor, and like studying is gonna get me to build my empire somehow. I don't know. I just imagine someone else who I think is cool, or like the idea of that person is cool, and they do like boring work. And when I need to do boring work, I imagine I'm like that person. So I kind of have a purpose to it, right? Now it's no longer just, oh, I have to read all this crap. It's like, okay, I'm learning so that I can get the skill and I can implement something and like build my empire. Like it's stupid. You don't need to go around telling everyone this, but it works for you. Like